Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Monday, May 22nd, and you have tuned into the NFT Morning Show. If it is your first time listening, we run this show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time each and every week, where we discuss all things NFTs, crypto technology, entertainment, gaming, finance, and just about everything in between. I'm your host, Pio, with my co-host here, Nifty Nick, funniest man in the business. Of course, we have Signal, the host of the Weather Report, the host of Artist Spotlight, an absolute badass reporter live on the scene of the NFT disaster. No, I'm just kidding. The NFT miracle, the NFT space is the best. Easy, the dog behind Bodoggos, the host of GM Market Talk, among other very popular NFT content-based shows. He's a day trader extraordinaire. He brings the heat day in and day out, letting us know what's going on in the market. King Kicks, the co-founder of the Nifty, but more importantly, the CEO of Crypto Raiders, gaming studio extraordinaire. They rolled out Cyber Stadium. They're crushing it with that game. $200,000 plus in the prize pool. 100% is for the players. We have Clemente, the head of growth of the Nifty, the producer of this show, the man behind the scenes. Wouldn't be able to do the show without him. Love having him running things behind the scenes. And then last but not least, we have Bunny. Bunny, your bio still says that we're not back.
Yeah, I saw the title, dude. I was like, no reason to change. I've been sick for a couple days. I saw you were asking if we're back. No, we're still not back. So
yeah, are you feeling better, Bunny?
I'm getting there.
You're getting there. Okay, got it.
I'm still congested. I had like a nasty sinus infection, man.
I'm sorry to hear that. Easy, how's your weekend, bud?
Good. Did a little Bitcoin Miami activities. Stopped by the Taproot Wizards event, Bitcoin Frogs event. It was a good time. Saw a bunch of familiar faces. Really can't complain. I was pleasantly surprised. A lot of people said that it was much smaller. Heard some rumblings that this will be the last year the conference is in Miami, and some speculation it may be in Vegas next year. So that would be very, very interesting. We got a lot cooking, though. So I know from our side, it's been a little bit of a lack of in-person events. I'm excited to post once we drop some stuff to get back on to some of those. VCon looked awesome. A lot of really positive feedback about that. It was just funny to see more of Thread Guy on the timeline at VCon than Gary V. But it was a good weekend. I can't complain.
That's pretty funny. Bitcoin Miami has been in Miami 3 years in a row now, right?
Yeah, this is the third year that they did it here. A lot of people said it was smaller this year, just comparatively audience-wise. But I guess Kanpai Pandas and Karate Combat had like the event of the weekend. They rented out 2,000-person outdoor space in Wynwood called the Backlot. Keyboard Monkey, I believe, performed as well from a DJ perspective. And a lot of people said that it was really good. A lot of people said that it was a really good event. People were pleasantly surprised with everything going on there. I didn't make it to that one, sadly, but I wish I did.
Did I see footage from that Kanpai Pandas Karate Combat event of like one of the fighters getting mad and throwing a chair into the audience?
So that was the actual fight. Yes. So the event happened Saturday. I believe the fight was yesterday, and there was some drama in the ring, and one of the fighters threw a chair into the crowd.
Wow. Well, they were pissed off about the hoodie, the D-Gods hoodie that they got, actually. So that's what ended up happening.
Yeah, they said, this quality isn't up to par. It wasn't ironed when I received it, and just let it fly.
Yeah, it was wrinkled. Yeah, so that was the situation going on there. And also the milk bags or whatever was kind of led a chant of the audience to say, fuck Frank, kind of was like this sort of like chant that he was doing. This guy followed by this guy only creates shitty hoodies, basically, was kind of what happened. So it also will be awkward if people show up to Miami when Bitcoin Miami moves to Vegas, because like I'm assuming they're going to keep the name, right? Like it's going to be called Bitcoin Miami.
It's just going to be in Vegas.
It's going to be in Vegas.
Yeah.
And that's going to be like a really awkward experience, would be my assumption.
I think you're thinking about it the right way.
Because I mean, it's not like, well, actually, so they have changed the website domain. It does appear to be b.tc conference. So maybe they are ready for that transition.
Well, I mean, look at that. You would think it would be a hard one, but it seems like they have the powers to pull it off. Also want to let everybody know Spencer of Spencer Ventures fame and acclaim has joined the show. Spencer representing for Institutional Capital in the NFT space. Love having him on the show. How's it going, Spencer?
Dude, it's going great. I mean, what a weekend, what a couple of days that we've had in the NFT space. And so I'm here for it. Feels like drama's up. Feels like
it's
some
good.
Floor prices are up, some floor prices are down, but I don't know, never a dull moment. So, you know,
we got a lot to talk about. I see you have that University of Chicago shirt with a skull and crossbones on it. Were you in some sort of secret society over there?
That's not a skull.
Yeah, that is a phoenix and crossbones, actually.
Oh, wow.
And this shirt,
way more secret society.
Actually, on the back of it says "Where fun comes to die," which is the fun motto of the university that I went to, which was coined after the president many years ago built a library on top of the football field. I bet you didn't know that the first Heisman Trophy winner was actually University of Chicago. We used to have a great football program, and then they decided to kill it because they wanted to be more academic. And actually, University of Chicago was originally in the Big Ten, and there is still to this day a clause in the Big Ten like contract which says University of Chicago can re-enter at any point if they want and kick out the most recent entrant to the Big Ten.
Yeah.
So, now, during my time at the university, I actually lived right next to the football field, and in most universities, I believe that would be very expensive housing. But in University of Chicago,
not a
it was
university.
the cheapest because I think during that period of time, our football team won 0 games the whole time I was there. So, you know,
well, I figure you were probably heavily recruited for the football team, Spencer. So it's a shame that
as a linebacker, you know.
Spencer's a big boy, ladies and gentlemen. Real quick before we get into it, Nick, I want to let people know you came over to my house last night and I prepared pizza that you consumed. And dare I say, you didn't seem very impressed, buddy.
I mean, I don't know how to respond to that. I'm going to be honest. I enjoyed the pizza. I thought it was tasty. What was the response you were looking for? Damn, you should open a restaurant, Pio, with this pizza. I've never eaten a pizza this good. Holy shit. Yeah, I mean, it was a tasty pizza.
Okay.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I was maybe looking for a negative review here because, I feel like it wouldn't be the first negative review that you've left on Yelp or Google Reviews, Nick.
Well, that would just be rude.
Okay.
If you go over to someone's place and you eat the food and you're like, and then you leave a review of that place of it being disgusting, that's like end the relationship style act there. So
you're right.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, good thing we didn't do it. I sent Nick home with a prosciutto pizza in tinfoil with one rule. If you guys watch Succession, Kendall gave everyone a rule. Kendall's rule was the only rule is that you can't say no. And he makes everybody thank him for that rule. I think that's a fun rule right there. You can't say no. But my rule to Nick was you can't put that in the microwave. That's the only rule. No microwave for that. It has to be oven warmed. Anyway, we're going to get into...
I don't really even use the microwave outside. I did put some microwave popcorn. Here's the crazy thing. Dude, the air filter goes haywire over this, which makes me just feel like that microwave popcorn is filled with just pure poison or something like that.
Yeah, it is. You can get popcorn lung from it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You get popcorn.
I mean, you have to be eating a lot of it. Like, it's mostly the factory workers that get it. But yeah, you get popcorn lung.
Okay.
And Nick, do you know what that is? It's your lungs. They just pop like popcorn. It's pretty intense.
I heard about it because some vapors, they use the same stuff in some nicotine vapes that they have in popcorn. And so some vapors were getting popcorn lung.
Well, I don't really use the microwave for much. And the microwave that I got in my new apartment is one of the most confusing microwaves I've ever come across. And I literally had to write a message to the other people. There's a WhatsApp group in my apartment building where people can ask questions and discuss stuff. And I was like, does anyone know how to use this microwave? A lot of other people were like, no, this is the most confusing thing ever. And someone chimed in and was like, oh, there's a guide in the app. And I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, it's a real struggle out here. No, it's a miele.
Yeah, that's a very bougie.
It's German. That's the best out there. That's the best microwave,
Dude,
Nick. It's like it's
miele brands. It's complete bullshit. Okay,
no,
so maybe their oven's nice. Okay, someone can come over here and tell me how to turn on the vent. I should do a live stream where I show it. I eventually got it. I had to call down to support, or into the. I don't remember who I called. I was like, I don't know how to turn on the vent.
Landlords love you. He's like, how do I turn the vent on my way?
Well, here's another thing. I can't contact the landlord because they won't give me the landlord's information. Okay. Here's the irony of it. But when you apply, they ask you for your social security number. They need a picture of every bank account you've ever created, your credit report, your job, your salary, everything. They ask for all that stuff. And the landlord has to see it and approve it. But they won't give you their own contact information.
Well, look, everybody just saw, everyone just got a lens into how the other half lives with bougie microwaves and, German appliances.
Not even the other half, okay?
You're the other half, Nick. You're the other half. No, I'm just kidding. We got to it's been a while since we did an 18-minute warm up to the show, but I think it was a lot of fun and we're just warming up here on a Monday. One commenter also asked, Ellie.jpg asked if Spencer is natty. People that haven't met Spencer before should know Spencer definitely looks like he's an athlete. You can tell that Spencer did a bit of fencing back in the day, but it is a question mark on whether he's natty. Anyway, today on the show, we're going to discuss whether or not we're seeing a shift in market sentiment. Juicy stuff there. The surge in Jack Butcher's ecosystem. I had people tagging me, asking me to talk about this today. Looks like Clemente was all over it. And last but not least, we need to finally make the call on whether PSYOP is a rug pull or not. Whoa, the suspense is killing me on that call. Nick, it looks like you want to say something?
Yeah, I'm going to go post a real quick video. I'm going to step away from this screen, and I'm going to show that actual thing. And if anyone can tell me how to turn on the vent, I will then reveal how to turn on the vent, but no one's going to figure it out.
Okay, Nick, but if you do that, everyone's going to leave this show and is just going to be consumed by your microwave video for the rest of the morning. So
okay, well,
please don't.
I'll cue it up.
Okay. Please don't take all of our listeners, Nick. Anyway, look, we don't have a sponsor for today's show, but we do have a kick-ass free NFT brought to you. We have a kick-ass free NFT brought to you by brought to you by the insanely talented artist and very cool person, SarahScript, who is the latest artist in our Artist Spotlight series. Sarah is a calligrapher and visual artist with a generative calligraphy collection launching this Friday in partnership with OpenSea. Ever heard of them? Check the pinned tweet above to learn more about the upcoming drop and stay tuned for the password for today's free NFT at the end of the show. If you've been listening to the show, you're aware we do free NFTs almost every day. And every once in a while, we have kick-ass guest artists do them for the Artist Spotlight series. Absolutely pumped that Sarah is doing today's free NFT. But let's get into the weather report. We got Signal back. We're ready to cook. Signal, please take it away, please.
Yo, guys, just to say, SarahScript, she is an absolute beast when it comes to calligraphy. That girl has had clients like Tiffany's and Goop to do their writing for invitations. So she's not just like somebody who writes nicely. She is a pro. So definitely go claim that NFT. Onto the weather report when it comes around. Well, it's Monday, the 22nd of May. You got volume, total market volume coming in at almost 40 million. We're cooking at 37. You've got Blur up at 22.8. OpenSea down at 5.6. On to leaders, not much change on apes. We haven't reached Bunny's prediction of 40 yet. We're just hanging at 45. Mutants are down at 9.5. Punks holding nicely at 49.4. Azuki pretty steady. Party at the end of June, they're at 14.4. While captains, the gap between captains and D-Gods just closing. Captains at 8.6 and D-Gods at 8.4. While Pudgy's just straight to the moon, up at 5.8. Big moves on Pudgy's and Moonbirds at 2.1. Over the weekend, well, Pudgy's, they sold over the weekend of the back of their debut collection on Amazon. The OG Pudgy's have pumped almost 40% over the week. And the rare Pudgy toy traits, the digital ones, have already seen sales on Polygon for as high as $500. You know, no token chat at all here on this collection. And the Pudgy's, they batted over 6 ETH before settling down at 5.8. So congrats to the Pudgy Penguin collection. Onto the high-end side of the market, the long-awaited Sotheby's auction for 3AC Grail's asset was a hit. Despite many of these assets actually being bought during the bull market, the JPEGs, which were on sale, have actually done extremely well in ETH, but were slightly down in USD value. The auction fetched millions of dollars, and notably, the sales that everyone is talking about are the Fidenzas, which sold for more than $1 million. Onto Blur. Well, despite Blur's high volume over the weekend, Twitter account NFT Statistics has shared that yesterday 85%, so almost 90% of all the ETH volume on Blur yesterday were just sellers dumping into bids. You got 3 collections that had massive dumps. You got Doodles, Miladies, and Mutants. Mutants had their 4th biggest dump ever, with 190 Mutants just sold into that Blur bid war, with the seller making off with 3.4 million. Can Mutants recover back up to 10 while they're sitting at 9.4? And lastly, Rec Guy artist and Dejan's co-founder OSF shared his 1 million JPEG shopping spree. The guy has been out just buying JPEGs after he sold all his apes. He's keeping most of his profits in ETH, believing that ETH will actually do a 5x over the next 3 years, but he has been buying the high end, including an Autoglyph, Fidenza, 3D Glasses Punk, and a couple of shit coins, including Turbo, and Pepe. So that's what you do, folks, when you have millions of dollars and it's all in ETH. Onto crypto holding pretty well. BTC at 26.8, ETH at 1.8, Solana just not quite making 20 right now, Ape at 3.4. Overall on the market, it's green shoots everywhere. It definitely feels like a bit of spring going into summer. It's been a green weekend, so that forecast is sunny, at least for the next 24 hours. Back to you, folks.
Fantastic weather report as usual, Signal. I did notice that OSF also bought a Sam Spratt piece, which I must say, very, very popular right now in the fine art world. Sam Spratt, Tyler Hobbs, obviously with those $1 million Fidenza sales, and then Beeple is the third name that I hear thrown around in the traditional, like that has interest from the traditional art world. Anyway, some updates from the Nifty Daily Digest. Go to the nifty.com and register with your email address. That's the only way that you can get access to today's free NFT. So go do it. I don't know what you're waiting for. Anyway, updates from the Nifty Daily Digest. LinksDAO has successfully completed the acquisition of Spey Golf Club in Scotland. It's planning on revealing its membership structure and has scheduled a welcome event for all LinksDAO NFT holders this summer on July 15th through the 17th. So LinksDAO making moves. Azuki unveiled their communities page showcasing over 40 sub-communities, each with a brief summary, activity duration, and links to Twitter and Discord accounts. So Azuki giving the power to the community. Last but not least, here we go. This is a Clemente classic. We're going to start calling these. President Biden dismissed a debt ceiling proposal benefiting crypto holders through tax loss harvesting, labeling it as unacceptable due to its potential to shield those avoiding wealth tax. Those are your updates from the Nifty Daily Digest. Again, go to the nifty.com and register with your email address to claim today's free NFT later on in the show. So just getting into the discussion.
Biden's making it hard for me to be a Democrat here, PO. He's just making it real difficult. You know, I don't have one position one way or another, to be completely honest. But I mean, it's just hard out here being a crypto Democrat at these nowadays. You know, this is one of the weirdest positions to ever be in. It's hard to justify, you know, being one. Going to be honest, and you know, I have a lot of liberal viewpoints. You know, lots of the people call me a snowflake libtard all the time, and but here I am, just trying to fight the good fight, and he's making it difficult. You know, we got to get some young people.
You sound to me, Nick, like a big Robert F. Kennedy fan.
Yeah, let's go.
I think
RFK Jr., baby.
Did you also see the? I think there was a picture that Balaji posted that was like showing the two-party side, and it used to be like way more blended, where it was like complete overlap, which is why like the party you had was way less like indicative of things before. No, not this one. But the and now it's like now it's like a statement about your personality when you like say what your like politics are. It's like a group of people like, oh, fuck that guy, like just on the mere like position that like
Elon Musk is now one. If you bring up Elon Musk to the wrong person, they're like, you know what I mean? It's like, what the hell?
You can't have nuanced positions on things. Like,
the
it's
crazy
just not.
thing was the stat about the marriage, that like Democrats marry Democrats and Republicans marry, like that stat that people used to just marry whoever they wanted to marry, but now that political views, you're more likely to marry whatever Republican, and that's what some of that data was showing there, Nick. I was quite astounded by that. I don't think I've seen that data in the UK.
Well, you know what, Signal. I'm a one issue voter. I'm a one issue marriage minded man. You know, I can't marry someone who doesn't want to defend my right to get tax efficient outcomes from my crypto purchases. God damn it. I want to buy my JPEGs. I don't want to give Uncle Sam none of my damn money. And if I can't find someone who agrees that I should keep all the money I make trading my internet pictures, then I don't know if they're the one for me. That's all it comes down to.
Well, apparently we're also all evading taxes as well as part of this whole crypto thing. But I'm back. I paid a hefty tax bill last year. Our company paid a hefty tax bill in New York, nonetheless, as well, right?
Yeah,
and
you got 10% on that.
Like, this is like I don't understand what the hell. Yeah, Kix is out of here laughing like it's like that.
Like he lives in some tax tax. What do you call that? A tax? What's it called?
Haven?
Tax haven.
Laughs from Puerto Rico.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish, man. I wish. I
got my friend.
Like 4% lower bracket.
Yeah, my friend Trevor Owens, co-host of the Bitcoin show, moved to New York for 1 calendar month. We were like, training, like working out together and stuff. I was like, oh, this is great. I got a workout, but he just left after a month and he's like, bro, we got to move to Puerto Rico. I'm like, I'm not moving to Puerto Rico, Trevor. You moved to New York and I thought that we were going to be New York friends. Now you're going to move to Puerto Rico for tax purposes. I'm not doing it. But Nick, I feel like RFK Jr. might be your candidate because he's a Democrat and he's a Bitcoiner. He's saying
cigars because he's like, the crypto. We like the crypto. And
he got that voice problem is from a vaccine Kix. So the anti-vax is gonna love that.
Now I feel like absolute shit. What kind of vaccine was that?
Ask RFK Jr. I'm gonna try to get him on the Bitcoin show. He tweeted that the CIA killed his uncle JFK.
Everyone knows that that's true. I mean, if you don't know that's true. But did they inject the vaccine just like right into his throat? Like the nurse was like, hey, this is the best injection spot. Like,
I don't know, man.
The best part about this is that Kix is, for those that are just listening, Kix is just in the bottom left corner of his video. Like just like a little tiny tag in the bottom corner of his video while yelling about this.
He's not going to win the Academy Award for Best Cinematography.
I don't understand what the situation is with the camera. Like, it's not possible to adjust the camera.
Just turn it. Week, okay? Moving has been a big drain on me. This morning, I found a tick that looks like it's been on me for 3 days. It was fully swollen, had a lot of blood in it. So then I had to do serious things. Yes. So I've had a long
bro.
Week. I'll get the camera.
Were you hiking like in the woods? What like looking for a safe place to smoke weed where your parents wouldn't catch you?
No, I went golfing and sometimes I don't hit the ball too well.
Okay, so you really had to dig through the bushes. Usually you go for a new ball with that sort of
I looked it up. Like even if it is the bad tick, it's still only like a 2% chance.
I'll take those odds.
Kix has Lyme disease now. Look at this. What is this guy doing, man? This guy is different. We are going to have to go down to Kix's house to make sure that his video is set up. Irish pointed out that our video got demonetized. I think Irish is absolutely right, saying that, saying some wild stuff about vaccines and RFK Jr.
And I cursed early on. So I don't know. There's a lot of things that are going on in this show. But let's be honest, no one cares about NFTs anymore. This is the AI show, dude. I'm using a lot of exciting new AI tools, man. Changing the game here. Has anybody else
that bad, huh?
Has your
Here are the
Twitter
10 best prompts to make Twitter
is your
way
Twitter
easier.
literally just AI people now that are like, here's how I have one guy who's like, I wish 15 years earlier I had taken this approach with my business because I would have been a millionaire much sooner. That's one tweet thread.
Thought process.
Then here's another one will be like the 15 AI tools you need to use today if you're gonna survive the great job upheaval, AI job upheaval or something like it's literally like all these different things about AI threads. Here you go.
I hate them. Every time someone writes an AI thread, I just instantly hate the person.
Here's one. 17-year-old kids are making $100,000 a month with AI tools. Are they? It's like, are there tons of 17-year-olds making $100,000 a month and I'm just a dumb idiot?
What is this person's feed?
There's like one and he's a scammer. I can guarantee you that. There's one and he's scamming people. He's like doing AI drop shipping and he's just not delivering.
I got more questions about this person's feed if he's seen a bunch of content from 17-year-olds. Like, maybe I can put on a list.
And they're talking about like they're like, all you need to do is go to this tool and it'll make you a website. And you go look at the website and I'm like, oh, that like website looks kind of whack. And it like gets you like 5% of the way there. I don't know. There's a lot of things that are questionable. No doubt. I think like it's the future, and I've been using AI tools, and I was simply making a joke about it. But let's dive into the top AI stories of the day.
We're going to dive in. I also wanted to point out, Nick, that Clemente is really learning from, Nick, growth hacker extraordinaire. The second we started talking about the politics, no hesitation, Clemente changed the title of the Twitter show to just all caps, Biden hates crypto. So it's like, all right, Clemente is definitely like, coming along when it comes to titling. Like just if it's second nature to no hesitation, be like, okay, they're talking about the Democrats crypto. Biden hates crypto. Let's get some people in here.
You should have just said Biden murders who?
Nick, is it true that Joe Biden has been stabbing people in the neck? Go!
Yes,
dear listeners,
yeah, it's crazy.
This is a look into behind the scenes of why Nick is no longer in charge of titling.
Actually, I was going to set up a meeting with Clemente to discuss how to really maximize the threads. Like today's subject of the email was this NFT just sold for $1 million. And I was like, that's a missed opportunity. Missed it. Here's how I would change that.
Interesting.
If you could help me out real quick, just change the title to just found a 3-day-old tick. Should I do a 2-week dose of amoxicillin? ? Because some people in the comments are freaking me out a little bit here.
The fact that it took you 3 days to find something that was on your body is the most concerning thing that I've ever heard.
It's just
I just moved, dude. I don't even know where my underwear is. I found it today. Okay.
He's like, I just moved, dude. I haven't found my food. I've been starving for 3 days. It's
dude,
priorities.
You can order DoorDash for food. You can't DoorDash underwear, bro.
And you know why this happened? It's because he didn't write on the boxes underwear. I told you, when you move, you got to write what's on the box. And then when you're looking for your underwear, hey, presto, underwear.
Signal gave you that tip. Also, the very popular crypto newsletter, Milk Road, their Twitter account just came into the show, heard us talking about Kix finding ticks on his body and whether he needs to take antibiotics, and just left the show immediately. So you got to love it. Anyway, look, every once in a while, ladies and gentlemen, we have a real fun, electric start to the show. And here we go. Let's get into the meat and potatoes. Real quick, rapid fire, first topic. We're going to get...
One last thing. I heard SarahScript was undermining some Biden initiatives as well, dude. We'll have to get into that with her. Go ahead.
She's leading rallies for Biden's opposition, you know. Anyway, so rapid fire real quick. Blur, very popular crypto trading marketplace platform, will be announcing the next collections added to the Blend platform. The Blend platform, of course, is their lending platform. The last two collections added were the Bored Ape Yacht Club collection and the Mutant Ape Yacht Club collection. For both, it actually ended up being, you know, basically a non-event because it seems that it was more of a liquidity boost for upcoming catalysts, not when the collection doesn't really have anything going on. 190 mutant apes were dumped into Blur bids for $3.4 million over the weekend. The floor dipped to sub 10 Ethereum, 9.5 Ethereum, with many expecting a further dip. Predictions on what's going to happen today. How many collections do we think are going to get added? Which ones do we think are going to be added? You know, I'd love to hear, Spencer, you follow Blur incredibly close. Do you have any thoughts on this? Then we can go to Easy, Signal, Kicks.
Look, like it's from a small list, right? Like if you go to the airdrop farming, the points list, it's going to be one of the ones that's a 2x that's not yet shifted over. So we got Beans, Kennel Club, Clonex, Doodles, Meebits, Moonbirds, Other Deed, Pudgy. My guess.
I bet you it's all of them.
You think it's all of them?
I'm dead serious. I think it's every single one of them.
It could be, right? Like they went 3 collections, 1 collection, 2 collections. Could be 5 next.
They did not outline how many were coming. I think it's actually. I think they're just gonna throw it all out there and be like, it's the rest of the 2Xs. Done.
Yeah. Do you think it has a big price impact?
No, I don't think.
I don't think so either.
I don't think there's gonna be any price impact, to be honest. I think right now, like with how low the liquidity is, we saw 3 massive dumps from Blur farmers over the weekend on Miladies, Doodles, and Mutant Apes. Yep. And I think that was like basically one of the bigger capitulation phases for like liquidity into the market. So I don't think we're going to see a lot of negative price action from this. I think if anything, it's going to give people an opportunity to just basically gamble on announcements for any of these various projects.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. And I think that we saw like the time of the pumps related to the announcements has gotten shorter each announcement. And it wouldn't shock me if it truncates all the way down to 0 on this one.
I think Pudgies may get a leg up if they do get added. I think that would be the only one, because them pumping 2 ETH off of their lows after the toy announcement has priced a decent chunk of people out, and now it can let people get some level of exposure into it.
I wonder how much people are speculating on a pump into the blend announcement, because Pudgy seems like an obvious like near-term blend thing. And so, you know, it all depends on what's driving that giga send on Pudgies on the weekend. Like, we'll just have to see, you know?
Yeah, Signal, before we move on, any thoughts on what could be coming next for Blend?
I would think, or I would hope at least, that they go with collections like Beans, and I would like to see Pudgies on there, but also little Pudgies on there. So just have like, just have different pricing ranges, because right now I think for most of the market it's still quite high. I think what Miladies is probably the cheapest, the cheapest one on there. And so there are certain collections that have been getting a lot of volume, like Opepen, little Pudgies, well, off the back of Pudgies, and if those collections can come in on Blend, I think it could be quite interesting for the market.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. The next thing we're going to talk about is Pudgy Penguins being the winner of the weekend. We'll also touch on Jack Butcher's collection soaring. But how refreshing, at least for me, it's very refreshing that Pudgy Penguins made a big announcement that is a business-related announcement that shows, you know, strong business acumen, some execution chops. And for what feels like maybe the first time, there's a direct positive response from the market. A lot of times people roll things out and the market dumps on the announcement. To me, it's just refreshing, but I guess this one was pretty undeniable, because you're talking about selling $500,000 in toys on Amazon.com in what, a 3 or 4 day period? I feel like this one was pretty undeniable. The market was like a 2 day period. A 2 day period, $500,000 in revenue, not from selling NFTs. Finally, the market was like, okay, that's pretty good, right? Like, I don't know. Like, am I reading this wrong? Like, I feel like that's kind of what happened here.
No, I mean, I think it was. I think it's also, you know, there's a couple of different effects going on here, right? One of them was that I think the people who invested in the venture round, I don't think were able to buy Pudgies until after the round itself was announced because they didn't want to, you know, appear to be trading on insider information, right?
Oh, wow.
And so there was an increased demand, I think, in general, that came from the announcement of the funding round. I also believe that it's, you know, it is about the execution of this toy product. I think a lot of people like didn't get the vision, and you know, we've been beating the drum. I've been saying this for quite a while about who Luca is and who his background is. But this is not Luca's first Amazon rodeo, right? Like he's gonna do well on these toys. And well, not in just like an NFT sense, but in an absolute sense. Like you saw Pudgy Penguin toys trending to the top of like new releases on Amazon toy section, period. Not like Amazon toys that are NFTs, but just like actually trending. And I think that that was like, people are like, oh, this isn't just some scam pump. I also think it's worth like noting that you didn't have like in the last Pudgy Penguin pump, you had a lot of people who had like actual zero cost basis on Pudgies. Like they've been holding since before the acquisition. It went to 7 ETH and they were like, it's all profits. Like I got to take some, right? Which is reasonable. Makes sense why they're doing that. But like the number of people who are that in the holder base, that it just decreases the function of time. And so I think people were like, it's easier to move the price of Pudgies. Like we see this a lot with captains. Like, why is captain price moving? Because most of the people are just like, like it's staked. So like, like, I don't know, right? Like it's there to, when the price moves, they're not like running to sell. And that's a refreshing thing because it feels like in every collection in the last like unit of time in NFTs, as soon as price moves like a little bit, people are just sprinting for the exit, which is fair. It's reasonable. It's a good thing to do in this market. But yeah, just looking at the collections where that isn't the case, I feel like is really quite an important thing here.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, anyone else on the Pudgy action, the response to the toy announcement? I know we got Signal holding little Pudgies. I think, Nick, do you have a big Pudgy now?
What, as an NFT?
Yeah.
I had sold mine when the price was going down. I don't know if it's back to where, yeah, I think it's back and maybe slightly over where I sold potentially. Yeah, I mean, like it's awesome to see the price do well. I also think it's interesting that it actually says NFT on the box of the Pudgy Penguin collectible. I'm not surprised at their ability to be top 100 on something in a day. That, you know, that's what launches look like. One thing they're not doing or / encouraging is reviews, clearly. So they're not gamifying that at all. Like they're ranked right now. One of them is number 29 for action figures, which is pretty high. And there's one review for them, which I like. I find interesting. Is so that they're not like populating those. I think that there's I don't know, that it's awesome what they're doing. It's very clear that they're focused on the there's two sides of this. There's the B2C initiatives, and I also saw a clip of Luca at VCon talking about the holders as being your key stakeholders, which I think is interesting. I don't feel like the stakeholders drove this initiative.
I did.
You do?
I drove it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, do you own a Pudgy?
Yeah, he does. It's his profile picture.
What?
It's his profile picture, dude.
What are you talking about?
Look at Kix's Twitter profile.
Are you serious? Oh, yeah, it is. Huh?
Dude, it's been that way for like a month and a half.
He's been a holder.
How were you involved in this, Kix, now that you're off screen?
He said all holders are stakeholders. I'm a holder, Nick.
So what did you do? What do you like? Walk me through some of the stuff that you were involved in.
Well, I bought it on Blur, so he got 0.5% royalties. He used that money. Probably bought some Amazon ads with it. No, I mean, here's the thing. I personally, I mean, obviously the launch was massive, and I think that a lot of people in the NFT space have been hungry to see the actual realization of what people have been talking about since 2021, which is like, oh, we're going to break out into the comic world, or oh, we're going to break out into the toy market, or we're going to break out into this and break out to that. And he seems like the first NFT company that has actually done that in a meaningful way. That's A. So now, just like the Nifty, he's generating revenue outside of direct NFT sales or NFT royalties, and then also got $9 million. And I think and that's a lot of money when you consider the fact that he paid $3 million to get it.
Yeah.
And then hasn't done a mint. Like, when did he buy it? A year ago?
I think at least.
A year
right
ago,
around
right?
a year
Maybe
ago.
14 months. Yeah. And he hasn't done a new mint, hasn't extracted a single dollar via NFTs from the community.
Right.
And
Just royalties.
Just royalties. Goes out, raises $9 million, has a very successful toy launch. I like to be in that camp, and this is my first profile pick price go up in a while. So I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's a complete no-brainer. I mean, people need to understand, if you're going to go and print $500,000 without selling NFTs, like just selling products to a theoretical mass market audience. I do think most people that bought these were NFT people, but that's not a bad thing for the organization. Nick?
If you Sorry, I was going to say, like, proud to be a Pudgy holder here. Little Pudgy holder, by the way. But also as well, I mean, Kix, you'll be able to speak to this. But I imagine, like, I know we were talking about what would the sales look like over, say, a 30-day period, but it must be so much harder to like come in at number 35 and try to get to number 1 at a category than to come in at number 1 and then essentially you just kind of stay maybe in the top 20, top 30, and you just kind of bounce around there as people discover the product. And so for Luca to have done that is, I know Spencer's mentioned that he's experiencing in that, but as a holder, I find that extremely impressive that he has managed to keep his promise of actually delivering on IP and on these toys. I think also as well, people haven't quite started to, because obviously a lot of the toys haven't shipped yet. Arrived yet, but a lot of people have not realized that you can actually, depending on the traits that you get, actually sell those traits and make money off them. We've seen traits sell for anywhere between, $25 to $500 happening on Polygon. So that's happening there. So essentially you're free rolling your toy. You spent $20 and somehow you're free rolling your toy depending on the trait that you've got. So like no brainer. And then thirdly, like, I think people are still underestimate the power of a strong community. Like, everyone's like, yeah, but who's going to buy these? Right. All he's got is his 8,000 Pudgies, in the collection. Let's say there's, 6,000 holders plus little Pudgy holders. That's not a huge amount of customers, but it's a very passionate customer base who will support him. Hence why he has all these sales. Why hence, I've bought in, I'm going to buy some penguins for, people with kids and just give it to them as a gift. It just has this free marketing to it that I am essentially enabling because I'm a Pudgy holder. I would not do this for every community. It's because they've executed so well on everything to date.
I mean, yeah. And just one thing really quick is that a lot of physical retailers out there, they like to see successful Amazon launches before they'll give you a sizable purchase order. And so, like, having a successful Amazon launch, I'm sure he's already in talks with Walmart and other companies like that. But when they see the success on Amazon, they're more likely to submit a purchase order and submit a significant one. And then he can take those purchase orders, and if he wants, he can finance them right away and get like a ton of inventory on the market, which I'm sure is what they did with Gel Blasters as well. So yeah, good start. So happy Pudgy holder here.
The only thing I was going to add here is I was very surprised by their Instagram. They haven't posted anything about it, about these toys. They haven't done any marketing to their over 500,000 followers. And on pudgypenguins.com, if you go to the website, you don't see anything about their toys. So I'm curious if maybe that's something that they're going to start pushing as well, and what the reaction will be like there.
The 536,000 Instagram followers, I have to think, is like a valuable audience for these toys. Nick, it seemed like you wanted to get something in on this, and then we can move on. And then actually, I'll throw to Bunny too.
No, I mean, I think this is a great start. There's, from the sales side of things, getting to number 1, I think, is more representative also of the fact that there's a lot of people in the NFT space that want to buy products associated with NFT collectibles that they're familiar with. And there's not a lot of options to just go do that right now. Like, you don't have a store you can go to just buy a bunch of different merch. It's all dispersed, but to just be able to go on Amazon, buy it, where I'm basically buying 90% of my things, which feels like, it doesn't feel embarrassing, but it feels kind of odd, like the sheer amount of stuff that I buy from Amazon. And I think that it's convenient for people to go and buy these products, have it ship, immediately or within a couple of days. It seems like the Pudgy is going to show up in the next week or something like that, which is awesome. This fills a really strong void, and I think that there's going to be a bigger, there's larger demand for this. Where I think that there's going to be a lot of NFT people that are interested in buying these sorts of things, even to spend $15 on something just to support an NFT native brand is so accessible for everybody. And especially even if you can't afford, $10,000 NFT or whatever it is, you can feel like you're part of the journey via this sort of product. And that's exciting. And like you were saying, Signal, you're able to end up with an NFT as a result of it. And that's just awesome. So I think that there's a lot of cool things that can be done in this space. They're far along when it comes to leveraging IP. Spencer was texting us about the thesis that Luca tweeted about IP. The interesting thing is, it's weird that that's the angle. I feel like, to be like, if you believe in the future of IP and NFTs, then you believe in Pudgy. Well, hold on. In my mind, I'm like, isn't that 90% of collections right now? That's being if you believe in NFTs, then you believe in Pudgy.
Right.
If you
if you believe in NFTs, then you believe in, Bitcoin frogs.
But here's the thing, right? I think in the beginning of the NFT space, right? One of the big things was, people have to remember where this goes back to, right? Punks have been around for a while, but I think the big innovation that Bored Apes made was that you own the IP rights to the ape that you had. That was really interesting thing that got a lot of people talking. That was a bigger part of the beginning of this market than it is now. I don't think that Bored Apes lean into that so much today. They've gone much more the gaming route, right? And I think if you look, it was even Cool Cats, right? That was another one that this was such a big thing in the beginning of the last bull run that I think didn't play out for almost any collection. And a lot of people have shifted away from it. The only group that I see really fitting into it is Pudgies. And, I'll say this too, I have passed on buying a lot of the Pudgies that were licensed in this toy push. And I kind of regret that a little bit now, because I was in similarly IP thesis, I don't know, right? It's shifted over time. Whereas now, as a Pudgy holder, seeing the success of this toy line, I'm like, well, shit, yeah, I want to own a Pudgy that's been on a toy that's been part of this thing. I want to be part of that next wave. And I think that that's a really big part of this too, is there's got to be some degree to which people are buying Pudgies because they want to own the Pudgy that's part of the next Pudgy toy line. And that's a huge part of this narrative as well. And that's what's exciting to see. And I don't know, I feel so much more it wasn't something that was top of mind, that I'm not I really need to be one of the people who owns one of the toys. That is something that I think about now.
Yeah, a lot of people, just to kind of put a bow on this, and then I'll go to Bunny, and then we'll move on to Jack Butcher. But at the beginning, the time that Spencer is referencing, which was early NFT bull run 2021, it seemed like every single NFT collection was harping on the IP thing, and rightfully so, because it was a very strong thesis. The problem of what ended up happening is, after the NFTs were sold and as time went on, it was required of the the people running those projects to actually execute on that IP front, and basically nobody did. And now the fact that Luca and Pudgy Penguins are executing in a strong, strategic, intentional way, and just moving right up, it's yeah, this is the thesis. It's wow, it's a shame nobody else would put the work in,
Okay, well, there's two separate things. To compare Luca to a buyer of a Bored Ape
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
the other collections. And
I think he's more comparing Luca to like Steve Jobs. I think
no, so
no, I'm comparing it to people that I'm not going to name. I bought their NFTs in 2021 on the IP promise, and they just never did anything.
I think that there is a, he's doing it. And I think what it reflects similarly is the same thing that I've said around communities. A lot of people try to build like products where the community will organically form and essentially like leaders will appear that will go take the desired action. And ultimately you need leaders in order to do that. And you need to sort of curate who those leaders are. The best approach to do that is to be the leader, have the collectibles, and then give people sort of a guidebook, a playbook, a path to leveraging their IP. And I think that's what Luca's doing here is he's saying, in addition, and he said it with his announcement, they're launching a platform which is going to make it easy for you to leverage your IP associated with your Pudgy. And I think that that's the path of where this is headed. And I'm assuming they're going to make that applicable to potentially other collections down the road. Who knows? But the idea that you have this platform that you can go to, because before it was like, oh, I buy this Bored Ape. If you were buying that Bored Ape on its IP for anything more than, $10,000 or something like that, it doesn't make sense because it doesn't come with that intrinsic value associated with it on the IP side. Like if I walk around with the t-shirt, like if I suddenly make a t-shirt brand with my Bored Ape, nobody gives a shit. Like it doesn't mean like I'm suddenly selling a bunch of t-shirts because I have that Bored Ape, because there's no infrastructure put in place for me to go and do that thing. So I really think that like that's the missing gap. And we felt that significantly. There were some people that facilitated partnerships with other with IP licensing businesses in that case, the licensing business took on a significant amount of risk and said, hey, we're going to go facilitate these deals for you because we think this is worth something to slap your ape on lighters or something like that. But I really do think that Luca's building out that framework for it. So, yeah.
I think so too. I just think of like a year ago when I first moved into this apartment, me and Nick were in the elevator and one of my neighbors, like a couple, one of them had a shirt that had Bored Apes on it. And me and Nick were like, oh, are you into NFTs? And they kind of like shamefully were kind of like, no, it's okay. Yeah. Like, and then we were like, yeah, we're like in the NFT business. And I saw them be more comfortable afterwards. But like, I just feel like they were given that shirt and they were almost kind of like, is this cool or is this like pretty whack? And so, yeah, I don't think you're going to be printing money with Bored Ape t-shirts right now. Bunny, you have your hand raised. What's going on?
Oh, do I? No, they're not the first one. All right. The 500K that in a couple of days. That's pretty cute. I don't remember when Yuga did it with Super Plastic. They did 3 million in an hour.
Oh, look at that. The Bored Ape said that the Pudgy Penguins merch or toy sales are pretty cute, but not impressed. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on to Jack Butcher. Just want to remind you that today's free NFT is brought to you by incredibly talented artist SarahScript. She is the latest artist in our Artist Spotlight free NFT series. Sarah is a calligrapher and visual artist with a generative calligraphy collection launching this Friday in partnership with OpenSea. Check out the pinned tweet that we have at the top of the Twitter show to learn more about her upcoming drop, and stay tuned for the password for today's free NFT coming later in the show. Artist Spotlight is designed to support artists, ladies and gentlemen. It is not a sponsored program. We just want to show love to the artists in the space and give them a little bit of a spotlight, give them some love. Jack Butcher, big winner over the past 7 days. Opepen up 2x to 0.5 Ethereum. I don't believe that's the all-time high floor price, though, because during the Jack Butcher era of this year, anything he did was pumping insanely high. But there was an all-time high sale coming in At 12 wrapped Ethereum, somebody accepted an offer on that. I would have accepted that offer too. We covered these on buy, sell, or send it to zero weeks ago at 0.54 ETH. And Easy said he liked them sub 0.5 ETH. So I think that that was the right call. They got all the way down to 0.16 ETH over a week ago. So that's pretty crazy. Checks are up 93% to 0.75 ETH. Jack Butcher has an auction at Sotheby's that finishes tomorrow, May 23rd, with a minimum bid of 10.7 Ethereum for some special checks, I guess. Easy, what do you make of this Jack Butcher situation?
I'm not terribly surprised, to be honest. It seems like this project really ebbs and flows, I guess you could say. Like, people come and go on this. The price action appreciates and depreciates over time. We're now seeing the PFPs come to life. We saw a few. I think the highest sale was actually 11 ETH for one of the Opepens. So it seems like there's certainly demand for this. It's exciting to see like traditional art houses pick it up and get some exposure for Jack Butcher. I think that his dynamic for this was one of the first times we've really seen like the burn dynamic give you like a more valuable asset over time that people tried to like game theory through. So I'm a fan of it. It's good to see like some secondary legs in the market on any project, to be honest. But I wish I picked these up at 0.16, man. Like, that's a clean 3x.
Yeah, that would have been a good spot to buy them. The absolute bottom of where they got to. Signal, any thoughts on Jack Butcher?
Guys, we all owned these at one point. Do you not remember? Like,
I did have Opepen.
Yeah, I know it was my call actually. Yeah, and I sold way too early, way too early. But I think it's really interesting that, you know, I always think a sign of ebbs and flows, like highs and lows and recovering and coming back, is a very good sign for a project. He's one of the few artists who used the burn mechanic back in January when it was used by almost, you know, all artists, who's managed to actually innovate on top of it and not just say burn this, get the next collection. I think his originality, what he's done with Opepens and turned them into season packs, season 1 now, you know, getting sales of around 11 ETH, they're just showing you the innovation and how smart Jack is. You should, like, if you haven't listened to Jack speak on the podcast for like an hour or so, I would definitely recommend do that. He's a super smart guy. And I think he'll be one of the names that will stay and we'll be talking about in December 2023 and hopefully going into 2024. I don't think people should underestimate Jack and his potential to really be a guy who breaks out, stays in the space, and like keeps delivering value and innovation and fun to his collectors.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's definitely done something that's captivated the attention of the space. That Sotheby's auction should definitely help. We'll see what happens with that. Look, to close the show, I want to talk about PSYOP and decide whether it's a rug pull or not definitively. And then just talk about a little bit where we're at in terms of general interest for NFTs. You know, the original title of the show is, Are We Back? Are we trending towards back? Like, that's what I would love to know. So yeah, easy. Maybe we can get a PSYOP update from you.
Yeah, so it looked like this morning we started to get a couple announcements that there was some money being moved to KuCoin out of the wallet. So a lot of people speculating that they're leaving. There was also a transfer to an ENS. The ENS was called I live in a non-extradition country.eth. So like, it's all part of it, I guess. He sent 1.2 ETH to that wallet and then pulled out like 15 ETH. Obviously the funds were commingled with personal funds upwards of like 250 ETH. So like him pulling 15 is not like crazy, but I don't know. Like, the price action is just not good on this. They removed 100% sales tax, airdropped the rest of the tokens. I think some pre-sale people made some money on it, but overall, like, I feel like a lot of people are just like moving past this at this point. And
did the pre-sale people make money?
I think they made like 10%. Is like if you sold it at the right time. So like a 2-week wait on a pre-sale for a 10% gain sounds fun.
And if you didn't sell it at that perfect time, did you lose money?
Yeah, I think you're down. So one of those things, you know. At this point, a lot of people speculating that they're just going to rug. A lot of people just like some playing into it. Yeah, I don't know. It's not pretty at this point. Like, I think people are past it. I think we're over it.
Yeah, I mean, so is this guy going to go to jail?
I think so. But like, what do I know? I'm not a lawyer. Somebody did supposedly send like a suit against him on chain, which was interesting. I don't know what that actually is, because like there was like swear words in it and like some other things where I was like,
dude,
all the comments.
I don't even believe that guy's
Bunny, go.
No, dude, like he literally used 2 F-bombs and IRL.
You don't think your lawyer doesn't speak like that, Bunny?
I hope not, man. The best is after P started getting heat for that, he came out and he was like, I know how to write like a letter with legal jargon. Like, then why didn't you?
I mean, there was some news site that I feel like Cointelegraph or something, like literally just published this and was like, lawyers pursue what, like they wrote it like it was like an official thing with no comment on the fact that that letter was like kind of absurd. I don't understand why there was a lack of professionalism. Let's just say that. But even if it's real, if it is real, I mean, well, it's just a threatening letter. Like that doesn't, a letter doesn't mean it. Like if he files, does a filing with a court, that's a different thing. So I feel like that's where things get real. And so the letter itself can have anything in it, technically.
There was some discussion at BTC Miami from some people who were like closer to the Ben.eth coin situation and obviously then affiliated with this, that did say that like there's some concern from people closely tied to PSYOP of some potential repercussions, like legally. And like that's so unsurprising.
Yeah, I mean, objectively speaking, you're not going to just keep being able to do this forever. I think right now, like legal response is still super slow. I mean, even Do Kwon is out on bail. Suzu and Kyle Davies had no, legal troubles, it seemed. Sam Bankman-Fried is at his parents' house. So we're far from just swooping in and getting wrongdoers in crypto. But long-term, you're not going to be able to make bullshit shitcoins and rug people anymore. It's not going to be something you can do. Just forever, Spencer? Just forever you can do this?
I mean, look, like the thing is, people, as long as there's money in something, whether or not people can even get away with it, they'll still do it, right? Like I think that the wrong takeaway from this is like, oh, like most of the shitcoins won't rug. No, most shitcoins will continue to rug. This will continue to be like a gambling thing people do. You'll start seeing more people launch them for Singapore. Like this will be a part of the space. This is the thing about crypto, right? Is like there's all this great stuff going on, legitimate business being built, but I don't think we'll ever fully move away from the degen gambling meta on like clearly rug pull shit coins. Like this is just like a part of what's going on. People may get in more and more trouble, but they'll still try, as long as you can, walk away with a couple mil in like a hard to reclaim not bank account, like people will do it, right? And so I don't know. I maybe a little bit less optimistic that we'll fully move away from this, but I think it'll be less important of a part of the space as a function of time. I think we already see that.
Fair. Signal, did you want to chime in?
No, I'm always going to be amazed by just how much money people can make by being a bad actor in this space. Just that people just sending money to a wallet address. It's just like post your address, people just send money. It's I mean, shall I
Nick
just
wanted to do it?
I just put my wallet address here and just see people send money. Yeah, it always will blow my mind that people will take advantage of greed at the end of the day. But I do think that, people who go on to make substantial sums of money, like the police will go after them. Like eventually they will. And we've seen this countless of times, agencies in different countries coordinate to go after these bad actors. And so it just becomes a game of risk reward. Like, is it worth doing? How long will you get away with it? And in the end, will the law turn against you? I think, right now you can be eating oysters in Singapore, but 12 months from now, you might be in a shoe in prison, in a not so nice prison. So
most people aren't going to go to jail for this sort of thing. It's all about like setting the example for one really bad actor that scammed the most people and or some of the loudest, which is why the only thing about Ben.eth, other than like $7 million, is a lot to an individual, but in the grand scheme of things is not that much.
But Nick, like we've seen cases of people who have fished apes, and all it takes is for Zach XBT to be like, I found the guy's Instagram. He was stupid enough to tattoo his name on his elbow. I figured out who he is. He lives in this country. And then he just sends that report to whichever country it is, and those people get arrested. It's like, there's also a trail of like, as an actor, are you leaving just reams of evidence on the blockchain and on your socials that make you easy to pick up? If you're not, then obviously you're more difficult. But I think at some point, when people start scamming substantial amounts of money and they don't cover their tracks, it's quite easy just to be like, this is the person, they live in this country, you can go get them.
You remember Squiggles, that company, the like Doodles 3D derivative that got 2 individuals arrested out of California, was not even for $7 million. So like there is like, that's a big thing. Like they actually got arrested and tried, and I believe are currently still in court dealing with it for that. Like,
Was that the I was in the club?
yes. Yeah, and that wasn't, they literally had a sign before they sold out, like, Squiggles. Like, it was terrible. And the thing is, like, with this Ben.E situation, it's $7 million, which to some's a lot of money, some not a lot of money. But you have to remember, like, there's been cases already for less money that have gotten people in some seriously hot water. And on top of it, this individual has their government name and their mother's government name tied to a wallet with an ENS. Like, that went viral the first day.
Wait, so everyone keeps saying that part of the story. What's the name?
I got to pull it up. It's his name is Ben. I know that, but it's also I don't want to air his mom's name out, so I'll send the tweet to you.
I mean, just put it out there. I don't understand, but the guy did this. But apparently, like Andrew Tate had done a video where he was like,
He's
like
done
4
multiple videos about this guy and has dropped his name.
Andrew
he got
Tate.
Tate pretty good, man. That was great.
Well, so I don't understand. So Andrew Tate is like a rapist, right? And then he like now he's out from jail for the whole situation. I have no idea.
No charges.
No charges.
Nope.
How do they arrest you and keep you in jail for an extended period of time then?
Romania.
He did some deals there. That seems interesting. They were like, no, that number is insufficient. Wow. So anyways, but he did at least put the main video that I'm speaking to, which is the only thing that I saw because I don't follow him, is he said essentially, yo, I have your address. And there's like, so he's basically saying you're going to jail. Which is funny for someone that was arrested for rape, like being like, and you're going to go to jail. I'm like, we're just watching the worst of the worst, like have a conversation on the internet, which I guess, at this point that is what Twitter's about.
Yeah. And it was human trafficking was what it was. The initial charges that were dropped, and that's not Ben.ETH, but regardless, it was a high profile video where he declared that Ben.ETH's address was going to be doxxed and that he'd be going to jail. Just to parlay this, like, I think that a lot of the PSYOP juice has been squeezed in terms of interest in the market. I'd love to know, Spencer, what are your thoughts on, where we're at with NFTs right now? Obviously, people were aggressively interested in shitcoins for about, I'd say, 6 weeks, 2 months here, maybe even a little bit longer than that, 7 or like 9 weeks or something. But now at least we're seeing some volume on NFTs. Do you think that we're shifting to interest in NFTs again, or do we think that we have to wait longer for something like that to happen?
Look, I mean, I think that there was a period of time where shitcoins just like clogged the chain and everyone's attention span. I think that meta is like slowly dying or dead. Like, I don't think that there's too much longer in that meta. Is that super bullish for NFTs? No, I think it's really healthy to see a couple of NFT projects doing well. We saw Oni Force do pretty well. We saw Pudgy Penguins do pretty well. We're seeing Captains do well. These are all like good things, but I still think we bleed for the next 2 quarters. Like I'm even surprised by these 2 movements. I like these collections. I'm not quiet about how much I like these collections, but I think that if you ask me how optimistic I am about the next like small unit of time for NFTs, I don't see a big overall huge catalyst coming soon. For me, I think you have to take perspective on all this. Like I believe we're having a slow bleed till interest rates come down, right? And nothing that's happened so far has changed my opinion. The only thing that I'll say is I'm shocked at both how well crypto is holding in general and how well NFTs are holding. And you may say, well, they're down so much. Yeah, they're down a lot. They could be down a lot more, right? Like we could have, because there's a period of time where there weren't these middle price NFTs, right? We could have a place where Pudgy Penguins, Captains, and D-Gods aren't worth 9 ETH. They're worth 3 to 4 ETH, right? Like that was kind of where when CloneX and Doodles went and Moonbirds went from the 10 ETH range down to like 3 to 2 ETH, right? Like that was the death of the mid caps. The fact that we have new mid caps that have replaced them is actually really good for the health of the market, because if they didn't, and the whole market was at 3 ETH, I think we would see Bored Apes and Punks selling off much harder, right? And if those had sold off, because you know, it's so much harder to justify a 40 ETH valuation when you have like a mid cap of 3 ETH, right? But having mid caps, a couple of projects in the 9 ETH range is pretty good. Having something like Oniforce that comes back from being down at like half an ETH to 1.5 ETH, like that's good. Like we need these wins. Having Opepen come back, like we need these wins in the space for people to stay interested in it, because missing out on a win or hitting a win, either of those makes you want to come and do it again, right? And so like I actually think that NFT space is healthier today than I would have expected it to be a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty healthy too. I think the way you're thinking about it is realistic. When I talk to people on the Bitcoin show, a lot of the experts, so to speak, from the blockchain and kind of macro, spaces, comment on like waiting until the next presidential election, basically, for us to kind of regain steam. Anyway, I think we're basically at time. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to dish out this free NFT by SarahScript, guest artist from the Artist Spotlight series. Clemente, can you help me dish it out, buddy?
Yeah, the password for today's free NFT is EGGO12. EGGO12. You can go claim that at thenifty.com/claim.
EGGO12. Clemente is claiming it right now on screen, so you can see the animation. Not your cheese, not your lettuce. Wow. There you go, SarahScript. Some beautiful calligraphy. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, Sarah has a drop coming this coming Friday in partnership with OpenSea. So pretty cool. We got the description right here. Calligraphy and digital illustration by SarahScript. This artwork is a tongue-in-cheek reference to lyrics from Freaks and Geeks by Childish Gambino and the crypto expression, not your keys, not your coins. Again, check out Sarah's Holy Script drop with OpenSea on Friday, May 26th. Sarah, you're on stage right now. Thank you for partnering with us on this Artist Spotlight free NFT drop.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to see calligraphy on this show. It's so cool. So thank you so much. And yeah, I was not expecting this phrase to be so apropos, the news of the last week with Ledger, but it is. So yeah, thank you so much, and I hope people enjoy it.
Absolutely. Well, shout out to Sarah. Make sure you follow Sarah, ladies and gentlemen, and check out the free NFT. Again, you go to thenifty.com/claim, and the code is EGGO12. That's our show, ladies and gentlemen. We run the show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. Eastern time, each and every week. All things crypto, NFTs, technology, entertainment, gaming, finance.